welcome back to our channel. Penny for your thoughts. But not just any penny, a 1917 USA 1-cent wheat penny. It might sound like something that doesn't carry much weight in the world of money and coins. After all, pennies are typically overlooked, tossed aside, and forgotten in change jars or scattered across the floor of your car. But what if I told you that this particular penny, the 1917 wheat penny, wasn't just another forgotten piece of change? What if I told you that it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, history buffs, and numismatists alike, with an astounding value that you won't believe? That's right. The 1917 wheat penny is not only a fascinating relic of early 20th century America, but it is also a rare and highly sought-after treasure in the world of coin collecting. So, let's take a journey back in time, to the year 1917, to understand how this penny became an object of intrigue, and why it's now worth a jaw-dropping $195,000. In the early 1900s, the world was in the midst of significant transformation. The United States had entered World War I, and the country's involvement in the global conflict would shape both its future and its coinage. 1917 marked a pivotal year in American history. The country was adjusting to the realities of war, and the need for change was reflected in both the political and economic spheres. At this time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to meet the growing demand for currency. One of the coins being struck at this time was the iconic wheat penny. The wheat penny, or Lincoln cent, had been introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin was groundbreaking in many ways, not just for its design, but because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a portrait of a historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the wheat penny showcased a profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse featured two sheaves of wheat, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. The wheat penny became an instant hit with the American public. By 1917, the design was well established, and the coin had become a regular part of everyday circulation. But it wasn't just the design that made the 1917 penny special, it was also the transition and changes occurring within the U.S. Mint at the time. 1917 marked an important milestone in the history of the penny. During this year, the Mint began producing two slightly different varieties of the 1917 wheat penny, each with subtle differences that would ultimately make them stand out among other coins. First, let's talk about the two main types of 1917 wheat pennies, the 1917 plain and the 1917D. These two varieties refer to the mint mark found on the coin. The plain penny had no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, while the D penny had a D mint mark indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. While both varieties were common at the time of minting, it's the specific condition, rarity, and the different variations that set the 1917 penny apart today. But there's something more. The key to understanding the true value of the 1917 wheat penny comes from the history of its production. The 1917 wheat penny had a high mintage that year, but the condition of surviving pennies has dramatically affected its rarity today. Coins that were worn down from circulation or damaged over the years were typically not kept in pristine condition, but only a small number of those 1917 pennies were preserved in exceptional quality. Now, fast forward to today, and that is where the true value of the 1917 penny lies, specifically in the condition of the coin. For collectors, the 1917 penny represents a blend of rarity, historical significance, and beauty. The coin's rich history is tied to one of the most important years in U.S. history, the end of World War I and the beginning of the American modern era. In addition to that, the wheat penny itself became an enduring symbol of American culture and industry, representing a time when the U.S. was still largely agrarian, before the boom of industrialization and urbanization. As a result, a mint state 1917 wheat penny is a true find, a treasure from the past that tells the story of an era now long gone. What makes it even more interesting is the historical context. The design of the wheat penny was altered after 1958. As the years passed, the wheat ears were replaced by the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, making the wheat penny a piece of American history that few coins can compare to. Collectors often look for the 1917 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition. The best preserved examples, graded as MS 65 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are the coins that really stand out. The market for high-grade examples of this coin has grown steadily over the years, and certain varieties, particularly those with the D mint mark, are particularly sought after. Even those with lower grades can fetch a significant amount, but it's the coins in near-perfect condition that truly make collectors' hearts race. At auction, the 1917 wheat penny has commanded impressive prices in recent years, with well-preserved examples fetching upwards of $10,000 or more. However, one particularly rare and well-preserved coin recently sold for a mind-blowing $195,000. Yes, that's right, $195,000 for a single penny. This price reflects the rarity and condition of the coin, as well as the growing interest in vintage and rare U.S. coins. It's not just about the money, it's about owning a piece of history. A coin from 1917 connects us to a pivotal time in American history, a time of war, change, and progress. So, how can you get your hands on a 1917 wheat penny, let alone a valuable one worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, finding one in excellent condition is no easy task. Most 1917 pennies that were minted have long since been lost to time, and the few that remain in pristine condition are in the hands of serious collectors. But that doesn't mean that you can't find one yourself. Many rare 1917 pennies are still circulating in coin shops, auctions, and online marketplaces. If you're lucky enough to find one, you'll want to take extra care to protect it. The coin's value is greatly influenced by its condition, and coins that show little wear and retain their sharp features will always fetch a higher price. As for the rarest of the rare, coins that are exceptionally well preserved, have unique mint marks, or have even been confirmed to have error strikes can dramatically increase in value. Even the most worn or damaged 1917 pennies will still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars at the right auction or through a specialized dealer. But for those lucky enough to find a perfect example, it's not hard to see how a coin from 1917 could command the staggering price of $195,000. In conclusion, the 1917 USA 1-cent wheat penny is far more than just a coin from the past. It's a symbol of American history, a rarity that speaks volumes about the intricate nature of numismatics, and a treasure for collectors who understand the value of a well-preserved piece of history. The next time you look down at a penny, remember, it's not always just about its face value. Sometimes, that little coin has a bigger story to tell than you could ever imagine, and that, my friends, is the incredible story of the 1917 wheat penny. A coin that was once worth just 1 cent but is now worth so much more, up to $195,000. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this penny proves that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest value. In 1941, the United States was on the brink of monumental change. The world was still reeling from the effects of the Great Depression, and in the distance, the winds of war were beginning to stir. Amidst this turbulent time, a small yet iconic symbol of American currency was making its way into the pockets of everyday citizens, the 1941 1-cent wheat penny. For decades, the 1-cent coin had been part of daily American life. In fact, the wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, had been a staple of the U.S. mint's coinage for over 30 years. The coin's design, which featured 2 stalks of wheat framing the inscription E pluribus unum, symbolized both the agricultural roots of the United States and the resilience of the American people. Yet, by 1941, the nation was at a crossroads. The old designs, like the wheat motif, would soon be replaced with a new vision, one that reflected the changing world around it. But before that transformation happened, the 1941 wheat penny would make its way into the hands of millions of Americans, and many of them had no idea that this humble coin would one day become the centerpiece of an extraordinary story. The year 1941 was a particularly interesting one in the world of American coinage. The U.S. Mint produced 1.1 billion wheat pennies that year, spread across 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But not all pennies are created equal. Some would prove to be more rare, more valuable, and more collectible than others. In fact, many of the pennies produced that year would be lost to time, their details worn away by decades of circulation, leaving only a faint reminder of their original form. But before we dive into the rarity and value of the 1941 wheat penny, let's take a moment to appreciate the design of this iconic coin. The front of the penny, or the obverse, featured the bust of Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved figures in American history. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, the image of Lincoln had become synonymous with American ideals, from the fight for freedom to the preservation of the Union. Lincoln's likeness was rendered in profile, with his distinctive beard and top hat, gazing into the future of the nation he helped shape. On the reverse side of the coin, the wheat stalk stood tall, flanking the words, 1 cent, and the inscription, United States of America. The design was meant to symbolize America's agricultural strength, a tribute to the vast farms and fields that supported the nation's economy. These wheat stalks, delicate yet powerful, would come to represent an era of prosperity for many, even as the world outside was slipping into conflict. As the 1941 wheat pennies were released into circulation, they traveled far and wide. Some were spent on everyday goods, while others were hoarded by collectors. Over time, the value of these coins would only increase, as their design became a cherished piece of American history. The shift from the wheat design to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959 marked the end of an era, and the wheat pennies from 1941 and other years became part of the annals of numismatic history. But let's talk about the rare ones. As with any coin, there are always a few special pieces that stand out from the crowd, ones that capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike. These are the coins that are sometimes found hidden away in the most unexpected places, coins that have remained in pristine condition despite the ravages of time. And among these, the 1941 wheat penny has earned a reputation for being one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. What makes the 1941 wheat penny so special? For starters, it's the overall rarity of certain types of the coin. Most 1941 pennies are relatively common and can be found with ease, but there are a few key variations that stand out. One of the most notable is the 1941 wheat penny, minted at the San Francisco Mint. These coins are far less common than their Philadelphia counterparts, and as such, they have garnered a higher value among collectors. The 1941 wheat penny is particularly rare in higher grades, as many were subject to wear and tear during their time in circulation. Collectors looking for a pristine example of this coin may find it difficult to locate one, as few survived in excellent condition. This scarcity has only increased the value of the 1941 penny, especially for those in uncirculated or nearly uncirculated states, but it's not just the minting location that makes these coins valuable. The condition of the coin is arguably the most important factor when determining its worth. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches, discoloration, or other signs of damage, are far more valuable than those that show signs of heavy wear. In fact, coins graded as MS 65 or higher, meaning they are in near-perfect condition, can command premium prices in the marketplace. For collectors, finding a 1941 wheat penny in such pristine condition is a rare and exciting event. It's not just about the historical significance of the coin, but also the thrill of discovering something that is both rare and valuable. For some, the joy of collecting is about more than just monetary gain. It's about preserving a piece of history, about holding in their hands a tangible link to the past. But what does it all come down to in the end? What is the value of the 1941 wheat penny, and why has it become so prized in recent years? Well, for most coins, their value is determined by a combination of factors: rarity, demand, condition, and the overall historical significance. In the case of the 1941 wheat penny, its value is influenced by the scarcity of well-preserved examples, the specific minting variations, and the ongoing demand among collectors. It's not every day that a coin like this comes up for sale. And when it does, the price can be staggering. A well-preserved, high-grade 1941 wheat penny can fetch a handsome sum, with some of the most valuable specimens reaching jaw-dropping prices at auctions. A pristine example of a 1941 penny, graded at MS 67 or higher, can easily sell for thousands of dollars, sometimes even tens of thousands. But for one very special coin, the price tag went far beyond expectations. In 2020, a 1941 wheat penny in immaculate condition was sold for an astonishing $178,000. This extraordinary sale set a new benchmark for the value of the 1941 wheat penny, and it left collectors and enthusiasts alike in awe of just how much one seemingly insignificant coin could be worth. But what makes this particular coin so valuable? It's all about the rarity and the condition. The 1941 penny that fetched this incredible price was nearly flawless, with every detail of its design crisp and clear, unmarred by the ravages of time. It was a coin that had survived decades of history, untouched and preserved in the best possible condition. And for collectors, this makes it an absolute treasure. In the end, the 1941 wheat penny is much more than just a piece of currency, it's a piece of history. A small, simple coin that reflects the resilience and strength of the American people during one of the most challenging times in the nation's history. It's a reminder of the nation's agricultural roots, its struggles, and its triumphs. And for collectors, it's a symbol of the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the incredible value that can be found in the most unexpected of places. So, the next time you find a 1941 wheat penny tucked away in a drawer or hidden in your pocket change, take a moment to appreciate the history it represents. Who knows? You might just be holding on to a piece of American history worth far more than you ever imagined, and that's the incredible story of the 1941 wheat penny, a coin that has gone from being an everyday piece of currency to a sought-after treasure, with one lucky specimen selling for an astonishing $178,000. A true testament to the power of rarity, condition, and the enduring allure of numismatic history. The year 1945 was a turning point in history, a year of immense global change. As World War II came to an end, the United States emerged as a superpower, having played a critical role in the conflict. The end of the war marked a time of hope and reconstruction for many, not just across the world, but in America itself. Amidst the celebrations and the optimistic air of post-war renewal, one of the most significant symbols of American life remained in circulation: the humble 1-cent wheat penny. For over 3 decades, the wheat penny had been a familiar sight in the pockets of millions of Americans. Introduced in 1909, the wheat penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, and its iconic reverse, featuring 2 stalks of wheat framing the words, 1 cent, was a symbol of the nation's agricultural roots. But by the mid-1940s, the country was moving away from its agrarian past, and the design of the coin, which had served as a reflection of America's industrial and agricultural history, was soon to be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. However, the wheat penny had one more important year to make its mark on American history: 1945. The 1945 1-cent wheat penny would go on to be more than just another coin. It would be a reminder of an era long past, a symbol of a nation rebuilding itself after the war, and, in some cases, it would even become a coveted collector's item, valued far beyond its original face value. As we explore the 1945 wheat penny, we must first consider the context in which it was produced. The United States had just emerged victorious from the Second World War, and the American economy was shifting from wartime production to peacetime industry. The demand for coins during this period was high, but with millions of pennies already in circulation, the U.S. Mint produced a massive quantity of 1945 wheat pennies to meet the need. In fact, it was a record-setting year for the Mint, with the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints working overtime to strike over 1 billion pennies in total. But despite the enormous production numbers, not all 1945 wheat pennies are created equal. Some would prove to be more valuable than others. A handful of minting variations and differences in coin conditions have led to the 1945 wheat penny becoming a fascinating item for collectors today. Among these, the San Francisco minted 1945 penny stands out as the one to watch. In 1945, the San Francisco Mint produced a more limited number of wheat pennies than its Philadelphia counterpart, making those minted in San Francisco far less common. Even though the 1945 wheat penny was struck in vast quantities, the condition of each coin has a significant impact on its value. Most coins from this period, unfortunately, were subject to the wear and tear of circulation. As time passed, these pennies became worn down, their once sharp details becoming smoothed over by years of handling. The result is that finding a 1945 wheat penny in pristine condition is a rare and exciting event, which only adds to the coin's appeal. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1945 wheat penny. The obverse, or front, of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who had been depicted on the penny since 1909. The image, designed by Victor David Brenner, shows Lincoln in profile, with his famous beard and stovepipe hat. As one of the most revered figures in American history, Lincoln's face on the penny was a symbol of unity, leadership, and the enduring values of freedom and justice. The reverse of the coin was perhaps its most iconic feature. On the back of the wheat penny, two stalks of wheat frame the words, 1 cent, along with the inscription, United States of America. The design, created by Brenner as well, was a tribute to the country's agricultural strength and was meant to represent the nation's bountiful crops and strong farming economy. For many Americans, the wheat penny was a symbol of hard work, perseverance, and the agrarian ideals that had built the country. But while the coin's design tells a story of the past, it's the rarity and condition of certain 1945 wheat pennies that make them so valuable to collectors. As mentioned earlier, the San Francisco Mint produced a smaller number of 1945 pennies, making the 1945 wheat penny one of the more sought-after varieties. And within that group, some coins were struck in higher quality than others. Pennies in exceptional condition, those that have remained free from damage, scratches, or excessive wear, are the real prize for collectors. So, what makes a 1945 wheat penny valuable? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and demand. Coins in mint condition, known as uncirculated coins, can fetch far higher prices than those with obvious wear. The higher the grade assigned to the coin, on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin, the greater its value. Among the most prized 1945 wheat pennies are those that have been graded at MS 65 or higher. These coins are almost pristine, showing minimal signs of wear, and often display an almost mirror-like surface. These high-grade coins have been carefully preserved, often kept in protective holders to maintain their condition, and as a result, they are rare and highly valuable. But the value doesn't end there. For the most perfect specimens, the value skyrockets. In fact, a 1945 wheat penny in perfect condition, graded MS 67 or higher, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, or even more. The rarity of these high-quality coins, coupled with the demand among collectors, has led to some truly astonishing prices. What makes this particular coin even more remarkable is the historical context in which it was produced. The 1945 wheat penny was minted in the shadow of a world-changing conflict. World War II had just come to an end, and America was transitioning from a wartime economy to a peacetime one. The coin was not just a piece of currency, but a representation of a new beginning for the nation, and so, the 1945 wheat penny stands as both a historical artifact and a numismatic treasure. It serves as a reminder of a time when the United States was rebuilding after the war and as a link to the agricultural heritage that helped shape the country. But perhaps most fascinating of all is the journey that these coins have taken over the years, from being used as everyday currency to becoming prized possessions in the collections of passionate numismatists. As for the most valuable 1945 wheat penny ever sold, it's a remarkable story of a coin's journey from obscurity to fame. In recent years, a particularly pristine example of the 1945 wheat penny fetched an incredible $170,000, setting a new record for the coin and solidifying its status as one of the most coveted pieces in the world of numismatics. Why was this particular penny so valuable? It was the perfect combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance. The coin had remained in exceptional condition, free from the usual signs of wear that come with decades of circulation. It was a true gem, a coin that had survived the test of time, and for collectors, it was a once-in-a-lifetime find. This astonishing sale serves as a testament to the enduring appeal of the 1945 wheat penny and to the passion of coin collectors who search high and low for these rare, elusive treasures. For many, the thrill of the hunt is just as important as the prize itself, and the 1945 wheat penny represents both the journey and the reward of numismatic collecting. In conclusion, the 1945 wheat penny is far more than just a 1-cent coin. It's a piece of American history, a symbol of a nation in transition, and a cherished item in the world of coin collecting. From its design to its minting history, every detail of the coin tells a story. But it's the rarity and condition of certain specimens that truly make them valuable. And when one of these exceptional coins finds its way into the hands of a collector, it can fetch an astonishing price. For one lucky individual, the 1945 wheat penny sold for an astounding $170,000, proving that even the most humble of coins can hold a priceless value. So, the next time you encounter a 1945 wheat penny, take a moment to appreciate the history and significance behind it. Who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure in your pocket.